Welcome everyone, this is Honest Restart. So, this time we're talking about the potential for Pikmin 4 finally getting some sort of announcement and perhaps even a release in the year 2021. So the reason we're talking about this now is because Pikmin 3 Deluxe has finally been announced, and with Pikmin 3 Deluxe, I think perhaps Nintendo could finally be getting ready to reveal Pikmin 4. So that's what we're talking about today. Now before we jump into things, I want to quickly talk about my social media. There's a Twitter page, a Discord community, a Patreon page, and a Twitch channel. If you are interested in any of that, check it all out, it is linked in the description below. The story for Pikmin 4 has been an interesting one. So let's go back to 2015. In 2015, Shigeru Miyamoto told Eurogamer that Pikmin 4 was very close to completion, and that was in 2015. We are in 2020, halfway through 2020, and we still haven't seen any real updates on Pikmin 4. The closest thing we got to an update was a few years ago. Back in 2017, Eurogamer followed up with Shigeru Miyamoto about his comments relating to Pikmin 4 and how it was close to completion, and this is what he said. I've been told not to share anything about this from PR, but I can tell you it is progressing. So from this update, we learned that Hey Pikmin, a 3DS game, wasn't the Pikmin 4 we had been hearing about, and that also the Pikmin 4 that Miyamoto was referring to was still in development. But besides that little tidbit, we have gotten nothing else about Pikmin 4 throughout this entire time. So that's led a lot of people to speculate that maybe Pikmin 4 has been scrapped or cancelled. I think given how much time has passed, that's definitely a possibility, but what I'm actually thinking is that the form of Pikmin 4 that took place back then has changed dramatically since. I think they probably had to scrap some aspects of that Pikmin 4, and they've reworked the game for it to be different. But that doesn't mean it's not going to come eventually. I do think it will eventually come. I think this is actually very similar to Metroid Prime 4. Metroid Prime 4 was announced to be development at the beginning of the Switch's life cycle, but then back at the beginning of 2019, Nintendo confirmed to us that Metroid Prime 4's development had to be scrapped and they were starting again. Something similar may have happened to Pikmin. I think that's a possibility. But I think I've noticed a similarity between Pikmin 4 and Metroid Prime 4. Now, this isn't confirmed information or anything, it's simply speculation, but what I think I've realized is that with Metroid Prime 4, we've also had the rumored Metroid Prime Trilogy HD, and supposedly this was going to be coming out and we would have gotten an announcement for it back at the Game Awards in 2018, but it wasn't there. A lot of people were saying that it was going to be there, a lot of industry insiders. It did not show up there, and then about a month or so later, we got the news of the Metroid Prime 4 restart. A lot of people have been thinking that maybe Nintendo's holding back Metroid Prime Trilogy HD till it's closer to release to Metroid Prime 4. So maybe once Metroid Prime 4 is about a year away or so, they will reveal Metroid Prime Trilogy HD, that will come out, fans will play it, it will bring a spotlight to the Metroid Prime series, people will learn about it, be excited about it, and that will lead into the release for Metroid Prime 4. That's been the speculation as of late. What if something similar is also happening with Pikmin 4? We just got the announcement for Pikmin 3 Deluxe, but here's the thing, Pikmin 3 Deluxe has been rumored for a very long time, and I'm not just talking about your 4chan or Reddit leaks, I'm talking about this rumor coming from actual media outlets and industry insiders for well over a year already. It was rumored back in early 2019, yet it never saw a release. Some have been speculating, some people were supposedly industry insiders, that this game has been delayed internally very many times, and maybe the reason why is because they've been holding it back until Pikmin 4 is closer to release. So maybe, because Pikmin 3 Deluxe is now finally coming out, Pikmin 4 is around the corner. It would explain why Pikmin 3 Deluxe is coming out October 30th. Think about that for a second. October 30th doesn't seem like the ideal time to launch a Pikmin game, and this isn't just a big brand new Pikmin game, this is an old Pikmin game, and October, especially late October, is the kind of time we usually expect to see some sort of major brand new Nintendo game. Now granted, this is a slower year, but even so, Pikmin 3 Deluxe is coming out October 30th, and at this point we have no other announced Nintendo games between, as of this recording, which I'm recording on August 11th, until October 30th. And Paper Mario The Origami King came out back in the middle of July, so we're looking at a 3-month window, or a little bit longer, between Paper Mario and the next major release from Nintendo being Pikmin 3 Deluxe. It's possible something else may be announced in between now and then, but the point is that Pikmin 3 Deluxe seems to have been placed in a very weird time in the year. So I'm wondering if it's because it's been delayed internally multiple times because they wanted to come out closer to the release for Pikmin 4. So what I am thinking is that next year in 2021, Pikmin 4 will finally get revealed and potentially may even come out then, because fans will be hot off the excitement of Pikmin 3 Deluxe, and there will be a lot more people playing it, people will know about the Pikmin franchise, and that will enable Pikmin 4 to be even more successful. I think that might very well be the case, but let's consider something else here. This year has been kind of a slow year for Nintendo. If we were to compare it to 2017 or 2019, it's been kind of slow. Maybe 2018 this year is kind of comparable. 2018 was a little bit slow until the end of the year. But what happened in 2019 was the release for the Nintendo Switch Lite, and in 2017 we saw the release of the actual Switch. What if in 2021 there's going to be a bigger year? What if this is a calm before the storm, there might be some other Switch revision coming out next year, and Nintendo's going to have a lot more big games coming out in 2021? We could be seeing a pattern here. 2017 saw the launch of the Switch, and there was a whole bunch of amazing games coming out that year. 2018 was a bit of a slow year, and there were no Switch revisions coming out in that year. 2019 saw 2 Switch revisions, and there was a whole bunch of great games to play all throughout the year, or at least the second half of the year. And 2020 has been kind of slow, and Nintendo told us at the very beginning of the year that there would be no Switch revisions coming out this year. But considering that there are some rumors suggesting a Switch revision coming out next year, especially with the data mined of the Switch firmware suggesting 2 other Switch revisions, which I think could suggest something for 2021, it would make sense for there to be a calm before the storm in 2020, leading to a very big 2021. This year, people were thinking that it would be the peak of the Switch's life cycle, usually that 3rd or 4th years where we see the biggest and best games for a system, but 2020 hasn't really been that. So maybe we're going to have to wait a little bit longer, and maybe 2021 is going to be that year, and this will also include Pikmin 4. Considering that Pikmin 3 Deluxe just came out and what we talked about in terms of Metroid Prime Trilogy and how that might relate to Metroid Prime 4, I think all of these things could be suggesting Pikmin 4 may very well be around the corner, especially because Miyamoto has told us that Pikmin 4 is not cancelled and that it is still progressing. Granted, that was a couple of years ago, but it was still during the Switch's life cycle, so I think they do have some plans for Pikmin 4, and I think we will be seeing that next year. But what do you guys think? Do you guys think Pikmin 4 is right around the corner, or are you just excited for Pikmin 3 Deluxe? Let me know in the comments below. Anyways, everyone, this is On Just Restart. Thank you so much for listening and watching, and I'll see you all really soon. Take care.